Hi everyone, it's Lorraine from Creating a Better Future with Lorraine, and today I'm chatting with Chloe Myers from Hopscotch Coaching. And a quick mention of how we met. We met at the Women Only Wellness Festival this year in June in Northallerton, and we both gave talks there, and it was a really lovely place to be. So over to you, Chloe, if you'd like to just tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin.
Yeah, so I'm Chloe. So I live in Devon. I travelled quite a long way to Women Only Wellness. I live by the sea, like your lovely picture, although not quite as blue and clear as that. I have been coaching for basically my whole career, like the last 20 years. I've been coaching in one way or another, and I am pretty evangelical about it. Like I do think like coaching approaches and helping people find their own ways forward is generally the best way to help someone is to help themselves. So I am all for coaching and kind of spreading coaching magic and bringing it to as many people as possible. And obviously Hopscotch Coaching is all about moving forward and making progress and getting a bit uncomfortable, hopping around, but in a really fun way. So my mantra would be challenge plus fun equals growth, because without the challenge, you can't grow. And if it's not fun, you just give up when it gets hard. So it's really important getting that balance. So that is what I'm all about.
Yeah, definitely. Balance is a big thing for a lot of people. They can sort of swing back and forth, doing too much, doing too little. It's getting it right. And you've got a challenge coming up, haven't you? A 5-day challenge. Would you like to tell us?
So I've got so it's called Take Your Cape Off. So this is all about swooping in and being the hero. So as soon as somebody kind of shows in whatever way that they're struggling and they need help, if you're the person that like drops what you're doing to go and help them, or if you're in business and someone comes to you, a potential client, and you really want to help them because they're so in need but they can't afford it, so you start offering discounts, or you start kind of going over the time in the sessions or doing loads of homework for them. It's about trying to help you keep those better boundaries and like identify where you are giving too much and trying to prove your worth and not kind of respecting yourself and your own needs and boundaries in the process. So it's a chance to look at where that is showing up for you as an individual. So yeah, it's a free 5-day challenge. You're just sent an email every day with a couple of reflection questions and then a little kind of activity, a little challenge to do. And then we've got a Facebook group, Take Your Cape Off, where you can come and share how you've got on.
And when does that start?
So I have done it live, and I will do it live kind of every quarter, but it is something you can just sign up to anytime and do it in your own time as well.
Oh, that's great. Convenient for everyone that's still kind of juggling half a dozen things.
Yeah, right.
So how do you incorporate, we've talked about all this juggling of too many things at the same time, the principles of work, rest and play into the coaching and getting the balance?
Yep. So I bring work, rest and play into everything. So obviously, so kind of my journey in training as a coaching generally, we start off with work, we're setting goals. And so I define work as anything that is like hard, anything that we have to do, anything to do with money. So this is about, career development or starting a business or running a marathon or like caring responsibilities. So that's the work, and that's where we generally start. And then as I was kind of in my first year of my own business of coaching, I realized that most of the coaching I was doing was actually people saying, I just don't have enough fun. Like I'm not spending enough time with my friends. I want to be like having more sex, or like I'm not playing. I've forgotten how to play. And play is essential to creativity and problem solving. And if we're not having fun and playing, we're missing the point, I think. So then I got very much into the play side of things. And then the more I went on, and then I kind of discovered that rest was just important as well, because of course, if you're not resting, you haven't got the energy to work or to play. So then I really started getting into mindfulness and meditation and slowing down, which, as you can hear, speaking very quickly, it's not my natural pace I'm a fast moving kind of girl. So I've really had to learn to be more present and in the moment. That is a challenge that I have had to deal with. So I find happiness quite easy, but contentment has been something that I've found more challenging. So that's what I've really worked on, and kind of where I've realized how work, rest and play are all equally important. And, you know, if we have too much of one or two and not the other, then we are on the fast track to burnout. So you can't just focus on one. You've got to look at that whole picture.
Definitely. And it happens particularly with people working with clients that they're giving too much of themselves. And then I hear this expression, people saying, oh, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you need to really take care of yourself and make yourself a priority.
And a lot of, a lot of the people I work with are mums as well. And so I come from a kind of charity and healthcare background. So these are people who are givers and they love helping others. And it's a huge part of their identity is I help other people. I'm a caring person, but they're not always quite so kind and caring and compassionate when it comes to themselves. And so that's it. There's a lot of kind of looking in like, okay, how can you apply those same things that you do for everyone else? How can you be just as kind to yourself as well? Because that is, otherwise you're not going to be able to keep supporting everyone else. If you are burning out and getting overwhelmed, you're not going to be able to help all those other people. So self-care is selfless. And
Excellent.
I think it's such a shift. People feel so guilty taking time for themselves, and feel like they are being selfish. So there's this big shift. And I think one of the most common phrases that I hear from clients is, I just want to read my book. And I just find it really sad that we find it so hard to find 20 minutes to go and sit in a chair with a book. So it is about kind of recognizing that we really need those things to nourish ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've started to put in rest day in my diary so that it's blocked off to make sure. And I do book things in that count as rest, like went for a gong bath the other day and you just lying there and you just recharging. Yeah. And it's nice. And people get caught up, don't they, in the life in general. And I know you were talking about the drama triangle at one of your talks. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so like the official corners of the drama triangle are victim, persecutor, and rescuer. But I call it villain, victim, and hero because it just feels a bit more fun. And I think the message here is that a lot of us feel quite comfortable. We quite like being the hero. Like it feels good to be the hero, doesn't it? And come and rescue people. And I know no one's trying to be the villain on purpose, but it's about recognizing that when you are coming in and being someone else's hero, you're kind of confirming for them that they are a victim and that life's unfair and it's hard and they're not good enough. And so instead, we want to be coaching them so that they can create their own solutions. So the empowerment triangle on the other side is of coach, challenger, and creator. So it's just a much more positive way of looking at it. And it's about recognizing that when you get stuck in this drama triangle, so we usually learn about the drama triangle in terms of relationships with, a boss or a family member, in-laws or something like that. But it shows up with everything, like how you feel about the government or how you feel about alcohol. So, if you're feeling like a victim, you're feeling like the world's against you and life's really, really hard and you're like bored or you're sad or you're shy, then alcohol is like the hero that's going to come in and make you happy and confident and fun. And then, of course, by the morning, it's become the villain because you're hungover. And so this is the point, like we just move around the triangle. So if you keep naturally going into that hero space, you are also going to end up becoming a victim at some point in some situations. And as much as we are not purposefully trying to be the villain, that victim who we are trying to help, and we're coming in and telling them like, oh, you just need to do this, this and this, they see us as the villain because we're like calling them out on something they don't want to do, or we're pushing them too hard. So it's about recognizing where this is showing up. And like I say, it's not just if you're a coach, it's, you know, in any relationships that you have, recognizing where it's showing up for you, and taking a step back and making sure that you are not in any corner of that triangle, because actually that hero space can be just as damaging as being the villain.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just planting the seed, isn't it? And making these little suggestions that aren't necessarily directed at people, and make their own decision.
Yes, exactly that. And yeah, and showing them that they are capable of coming up with, like, the person with the problem is the person with the best solution. And so even if you've got like a business that's completely like a done for you, so let's say you're a web designer, you still need to spend as much time asking the client what they want and what they think will work and what's important to them and what they don't like on other people's websites. The more time you spend with them finding out exactly what they want and why, the more likely you are to come back with the right product first time and not need to keep going back and forth and editing it. And then, because if that happens, then you've become the victim and they're the villain because they've got all these tweaks they want to make all the time. So it doesn't matter what the situation is, this shows up. And like, it's one of those things, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's everywhere. There's no escaping it unless you very purposefully get out of there.
So how long do people normally work with you when they come to you for coaching?
Yeah, so I do a 90-day program, which I find I've played with lots of different things, like meeting weekly and meeting monthly, and I just find that 3 months is enough to make some quite good progress quite quickly and see real change and get that momentum, and then be ready to be set free and like go off and do the next thing, take on the next challenge. So I love that 3-month period because it stays exciting for the whole 3 months as well. It's like, it's a really lovely amount of time to work with somebody.
It's a good time because it's not too overwhelming. To some courses, you know, it's like a year and you think that's quite a big commitment, isn't it? Whereas 3 months, you know, it's 3 months. You're going to make a big difference, aren't you? Without thinking, wow, that's 12 months of my life.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, as you grow, the match isn't quite right, like, and then you need someone who's going to challenge you in a completely different way. So like, I advocate for working with all sorts of different like coaches and supporters so that you can kind of grow in every direction and really find exactly what you need.
Yeah, definitely have a variety. I work with lots of different people, and in terms of personal development as well, you know, to get the movement in, I do lots of different dance classes and then breath work, as well as all the trance work and the meditation and the hypnotherapy. So it's creating a variety, isn't it? And
yeah, and some things really land, and some things really land with you one day and not the next. And it's about like being open to all these different experiences and different techniques, because I mean, I have to say, like, I love coaching people, but I love just being part of this world and getting to experience and meet all these amazing people all the time and like try new things. It blows my mind. And I just think, like, when I was, you know, like just employed, I just didn't even know this world existed. I didn't know all of the, you know, I maybe knew about it in terms of like festivals and very kind of like woo woo, but to discover it as this like world of entrepreneurship and self-development, and just when you go to something like Women Only Wellness and like the networking events, and just the vibe in the room, like you just arrive and you're like, everyone in here is like amazing. I want to talk to every single person. And you make amazing friendships, you find people to collaborate with, you find new clients, you find new coaches. I just love being part of that world. It's so energizing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And are you mostly online or in person or a bit of both? Or?
Mostly online, which is interesting because when I started, and I think like lots of us, when I started, I was determined that I wanted to be an in-person one-to-one business. And as that's developed and I've got more confident, I love working online and I love doing group stuff. which that is so out of my comfort zone. Even a year ago, the thought of doing a group program would have absolutely terrified me. And now I love it. Can't beat it. It's just, again, like that energy in the room and like seeing all the different relationships between the people in the group. I just can't get enough.
Excellent. I love to see people, they practice what they preach, and they, you've obviously had coaching yourself and
a lot of coaching. Yeah. I think that's for me. Like, I've had coaching, to write my book. I've had coaching to run a marathon, like this kind of coaching rather than any kind of sport coaching. I've had coaching to like help me through bereavement, through my like being a sandwich carer, and like I just think it is so transformative, and I can't get enough. Like I said, just I absolutely love it, and I think there's so much to be gained from it, and it's such a different. I think I had this real epiphany moment where we struggle with how do you even explain what coaching is? Like, people don't understand what it is. Is it counseling? Is it therapy? Is it mentoring? Like, people don't. Is it sport? People don't. Are you just going to tell me what to do? Is it being a cheerleader, an accountability partner? And I think the epiphany for me was realizing that kind of counseling helps people with problems, whereas coaching helps people with dreams. And that is what draws me to it so much. Like, it's so positive, and you're still dealing with those problems and barriers and challenges, but in such a positive way. Like, I've had a few bouts of counseling as well, and I find as much as it's useful, I come out of a counseling session feeling quite drained and tired. And I come out of every coaching session I've ever had, whether I'm giving or receiving, energized and motivated and excited and inspired. And that's how I want people to feel after they've spent time with me.
Do you ever come across people, they're not really sure what they want, and it transforms as you go along? They start off with one idea and it's something completely different.
Yeah, every single time. Or, like, so where we start is never, we very rarely finish where we thought we were going to finish, let's say. And sometimes that is like, maybe the result is what they wanted, but the route we took to get there is not what they would have predicted whatsoever, because something came up for them that they just hadn't realized. Because often, especially working with men, which I love, I do work mainly with women, but when I work with men, I think because they've often never been asked these sorts of questions and never had these sorts of conversations, never even thought about this stuff with themselves, they've certainly never journaled about it. So you ask them the right question, and sometimes it's just one question and it changes everything for them, gives them a whole new perspective, gives them a whole new idea. Like, that, those moments are just magical.
And to see the change, do you follow what happens sort of in the years to come and things like that?
Yeah, and I think this is part of the idea of take your cape off as well, is like not getting attached to the outcome. So sometimes maybe they've come to coaching with an idea that you really get behind and you're excited about, and then, like you say, their goal changes because life happens, and you can almost be, if you've still got your cape on at least, be a bit disappointed that they didn't follow through on that idea or do that thing that they wanted to. And this is the thing about not getting attached to the outcome, not trying to prove yourself to them. And so actually I carry on following my clients on social media and things like that, and like we do stay in touch and celebrate each other's progress and things like that. But actually, like, I find I've learned from 20 years of doing this that you've got to have those boundaries, and you can't stay in touch with everyone. You can't be best friends with everyone. And actually, it's quite nice that you get to the end and it is like, okay, you're ready to fly the nest now. And I think this is a bugbear of mine, coaches that are like your accountability partner who create a dependence because the client is trying to impress the coach all the time and get so much reassurance out of checking in with them and celebrating with them. But actually, it's great for the coach who gets this recurring client for the rest of time, but actually it's not so good for the client because there's so much benefit, like we say, in working with lots of different people. So have your 3 months with me, and then like run with that for a bit, and then when you're ready for the next challenge, maybe you come back to me, or maybe you find another coach that specializes in that thing. And I think it's about finding the right coach for you, or the right whatever supportive person for you for the specific challenge that you're dealing with. So sometimes I will seek out a coach who I think is very similar to me, doing something similar, because then it is kind of like a mentor, like they're a few steps ahead of me. Then other times I want someone who I feel is completely different to me, who's going to give me a completely different perspective than I would have myself. So I think it is about, like, we're everywhere, right? There's coaches everywhere. Can't get rid of us. Go to any networking event, half the people are there who are coaches. So it's always going to be possible to find someone who you really click with, who really inspires you, gets you, whatever it is. So yeah, like, look around and find the right one.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, you know, with my clients as well, they might come to me for one thing and somebody else for something different. And a different point of view. It's the same with Reiki practitioners as well, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your hairdressers and doctors, it doesn't matter what it is, does it? There is something about, you don't want to find someone that's just going to agree with everything that you say and say, yeah, brilliant idea, which is what AI does, right? And you want someone who is going to challenge you, but also not that's going to challenge you so much that you just hate it and it feels like really hard work. You know, it's that challenge plus fun thing again. So it's getting that balance, that if someone's just cheerleading you, you're not changing, you're not growing and developing. And if they're challenging you so hard, you're just going to hate them. You're not going to turn up. Like, they're giving you loads of homework, they're telling you off when you haven't done it, like making you feel bad. Like, that's not what it's supposed to be at all. I think that's when I'm teaching coaching, that's my kind of first thing, is you never ask how they got on with the things we talked about last time, because if they want to talk to you about it, they're going to. And you don't want to start off your session saying, like, oh, how did you get on with that thing we were excited about last week? And then they immediately feel like bad, disappointed in themselves, judged, embarrassed, or whatever, when they say, oh, I didn't do it. And then making excuses, you know, like, they'll tell you if they want to tell you.
So as we come to the end, have you got any advice for people who are thinking, I want to make that step, but I'm not sure if I should or not? How to encourage them to take the leap?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, obviously sign up to my 5-day challenge, because that's going to help you. It's going to trigger some of these thoughts and help you see where this is showing up for you. So I have my CAPE framework. So the first one is check your CAPE. So be really honest. Where are you giving too much? Where are you overstepping or ignoring your boundaries, or you don't even have boundaries? And the next one is align with what matters. So getting really clear on what you want to do, what your priorities are, what your values are, what your dreams are, and then saying no to anything that doesn't fit those things. Then P, so pass the mic. So this is about getting vulnerable, asking for help, delegating or outsourcing work, playing to your strengths and recognizing where you're not so good. And then finally, elevate with ease. So this is where you get to do the real growth, because you've got the time and the energy, because you've got those boundaries in place. So that's where the magic happens. But yeah, sign up to my 5-day challenge, and it will get you thinking about all of these things so that you can see where you're already doing well and where you need a bit of extra work.
Yeah, and I'll put the link below. And I particularly like that you encourage people to say no, because what I say to my clients, you're saying yes to yourself when you're saying no to someone else. And they can make it seem more positive. Yes, I'm going to say yes to me.
Yeah. And when you're saying yes, what are you saying no to? Because whichever way around it is, you are, every time you say yes, you're saying no to something else. Every time you say no, you're saying yes to something else. So it's it's just getting that awareness is always the first step, isn't it?
Excellent. So any final words before I let you go?
Just thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to chat with you some more. And I like our matching outfits.
By coincidence, synchronous.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, lovely to chat to you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.